bonbon that we're seeing here. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's make sense of it. Leo's memory have AoEs to make up for it, where you don't necessarily have to be in those close quarters positions, so long as you could constantly land those AoE bombs.
Yep, and there we go. Kraydana is going to see the bonbon first as Eris goes out to hunt, and we're heading over to factory. Wolfie, though, getting spotted in the Cypher. The perfumer will use the perfume. Not going to be utilized, but then he's able to get out of that sticky situation. Trying to move. Again, you know what? He really needs to rely on his chase and camping for him to really make a dent in the plan of these survivors.
Yes, sir, really. And oh my god, great work trying to maximize just the factory terrain here, really working with the, oh my gosh, the inner parts. And okay, we're seeing a tentative position towards the window. Looks like we'll just be playing with this outside instead. Wolfie look for a transition. Still looks like a reliable spot to be in, to be honest. This factory.
Wolfie receiving an owl though, so this is going to extend her chase just a little more, even though she did receive 1/2 damage. Drops down, gonna eat that hit, but the owl was there, so Wolfie's still in pretty good shape. Oh, but no, I spoke too soon. Eris was able to drop the hammer literally, and now the perfume. Now he's trying to look for a rocket chair.
Yes, sir. I mean, in all fairness to Wolfie though, that was a respectable amount of time bought.
It was.
And that's definitely the end goal that IVS wants at the end of the day. But now the time has come. Perfumer's stuck to a rocket chair. Who will commit to save duty? Because they have quite a number of options that can go for the save keeper. And it's like, what a Gravekeeper.
Wow, okay, Gravekeeper eats the hit. Like you said, a lot of options that they have. Now Wolfie trying to make magic happen twice with how long he was able to buy time for his teammates. Blink was used, but then Wolfie was nowhere to be found. And now we're going back to the second floor of Factory. And now this Bonbon able to just really cut corners here and move Wolfie in just strategic ways. Just for him to be able to get a better chase out of him. And now we will get that hit.
Yes, sir. It will be Wolfie once again. Round 2 on that rocket chair. Inside the factory, not to mention. But nonetheless, IVS, it's all good. Look at the amount of progress that they made on this Cypher. It's only Perfumer's second time on the rocket chair, but only 2 Cyphers remaining. Still a bit of a way to go, based on what we're seeing here at the lower left portion. Only just getting started, but you know what? That's totally fine. A lot of leeway to work with in this round 1.
Ooh, that was the tackle that Zalcon was looking for. Excellent rescue, but Eris was able to snipe him out. That forward is at half health, and now he's still pestering Eris and really buying his attention. Able to get that done. And now 2 Cyphers still remain. Lower left side sees the Gravekeeper working on that Cypher at that corner. Still at halfway though, so we still have a lot of time to chase.
Yeah, it does look like IVS has decided to bolster their numbers in the midst of trying to keep Iris preoccupied. And it's not just necessarily confusing, but it does look like utility is starting to be used as well, just to buy that extra time. Luckily, Gravekeeper, with the time that he had left unturned, but did have to go for the dig though. Iris didn't even, you know what, he decided, let's try to seek out this other Cypher in work, because with 2 Cyphers remaining, you want to do everything in your power to deter them. And yeah, it looks like that was the call that Aris made was good.
Yeah, look at the bombs that Aris is trying to get out of the Gravekeeper. The Gravekeeper really able to buy so much time for his teammates. Aris is on the back foot now trying to make something happen, and he is still focusing on this Gravekeeper, and he's very focused on downing him. Gets another hit, and now just one more would do it, and now we have a down Gravekeeper. Needs to pick him up so that they won't be able to pop it. And you can see the lower left part of the screen, ladies and gentlemen, they are going for heals more than they are prioritizing Cyphers, so this could be the tide that Eris needs to turn the momentum into his favor.
Yes, sir. And there you go, rocket chair for the Gravekeeper. But I think this is still good for IVS. The fact that it wasn't a third round of Rocketeer for Perfumer, I think is a win, because this just means that IVS constantly still gets to work with their full 4 numbers.
Ooh. And there is the pop you were talking about, because Gravekeeper, that was his first chair. And now Aris needs to find a target because IVS is trying to open the exit gates.
Excellent. But, okay, with the target being the Seer, though, constantly throwing out those bombs now, already closing in, though, looks for the Wackaroni, and yes, manages to land it.
And now teleport is going to be used, but my goodness, the Perfumer and the Forward are already far outside in the vicinity of the exit. Air is still trying to look for another target, throws the bombs just to try to get a hit in one of them. Mar is still worse for wear here, as he's trying to find an exit in this Leo's memory.
Yes, sir. Aris, though, looks like is on the right track as he sniffs out the trail that'll lead himself towards the Seer. But you know what? It's only round 1. For IVS's case, it's fine if they can't make it out with the perfect number. But you know what? I'm going to hold off for now because there's still a lot of possibility going on here.
There is, but then they're just waiting at the exit gate because I think they want to get their attention so that the other teammates can make the exit. Now, Aris, again, having the great build there of having the teleport, but again, he was really... It's really tough for him to make it out that all the exit gates are open, and now the dungeon is a factor. How will this be a 4 or 3 man out?
Oh man, Aris though managing to catch up with this Seer, and looks like IVS
Bloody Queen, yes, ladies and gentlemen. We're just gonna jump straight into that match. We just heard word that the picking down was already done. So we're seeing a Bloody Queen, a Gravekeeper, a Seer, and a Priestess, and a Mechanic. So interesting stuff.
Yeah. Just a quick try over the comps. Survivors looks like we stick into expectation here. Bloody Queen, I love as the alternative, in which case, at least by having the Bloody Queen on Leo's memory, it kind of saves you the trouble of needing to traverse these long spans of terrain. Either through switching with the mirror image or just letting the mirror image do its work itself, just so that you don't have to necessarily be in close quarters to land these shots. Speaking of which, gonna go straight in to close it out and land the Wackaroo on all players.
Excellent stuff on the Bloody Queen side. Just able to find the Mechanic early on, the doll, to give an inkling of where the Mechanic can be at. So able to stuff the Mechanic and really stop Cypher Rush from happening. And a Bloody Queen on Leo's memory with those mirrors can really cut corners and really be able to make the real estate work in her advantage in terms of how far everything is spread out.
Absolutely. Now, question here is, they have, I think, the optimal option of a rescue here. Well, nobody's really going for it yet. Okay, now we do. But, I mean, there's still quite a bit of time that they can work with. Mechanic, though, already halfway. Let's go ahead and see how this will pan out as Seer slowly closes in on the internal workings of this factory.
Yep, Dylan going for that save, gets the rescue, but no tide turner, so it's going to be very interesting how he's going to deal with this situation. Aurora trying to buy as much time as possible, but Owl is going to be a factor. Excellent Owl placement on the side of NR. And now the mirror image to really cut the corners here and really be able to give the Mechanic a run for our money, and excellently placed swipe there just last minute on the side of IVS.
Oh my gosh. Here we go straight into the factoring once again. Aurora, I mean, as a Mechanic especially, not really as much you can do to really prolong the kite, since you don't necessarily have the kit to do so. But I mean, and are definitely trying to make the most of the situation. 3 ciphers remaining though, 3 healthy survivors. That's still fair play for them.
Ooh, wow. Well placed hit on the Bloody Queen there. able to stop the Priestess from bolting, really respecting that terror shock. Raindrop now dropping the pallets here, able to move away and just create some distance from that Bloody Queen, but that Bloody Queen is still on the hunt, waiting for that mirror cooldown to just go away for him to really sandwich that survivor. And mind you, ladies and gentlemen, she is carrying Blink.
Oh man, that is gonna be fun because it really, I feel, gives a lot more advantage to Bloody Queen when you have that combination. But you know what? You already have the second survivor off to the rocket chair, and it will be the Priestess. A little bit of a way to go.
Well, excellent blink, well placed on the Bloody Queen side. And now switching skills. Now I'm going to chair this survivor, but the Gravekeeper did start to dig, so that is something to worry about on the side of IVS. Excellent rescue, and Gravekeeper gets a hit. Oh wow, our last Cypher was stopped. We are at the end game.
Oh my gosh, this is great for NR. I mean, a lot to work with in terms of getting the 3 survivors out. I mean, there is, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm looking at this correct, okay, it is going to be Dylan that will have to be on distraction duty, whilst the rest of NR are prepping those gates. 62% already, so that's very much workable.
Distraction duty indeed. He had to really buy so much time, and now he's really kiting for his life because the survivors are out of there, so that's immediate 2 points. He's trying to look for something big here to work with, but no, the Bloody Queen gets a tie, 2-2. Excellent 3 with this now, since it's a smaller stage we're gonna settle this tango in. So we'll see if it'll pay off. You know, if first you don't succeed, try again.
Aris is on the hunt.
Air is trying to patrol the outside perimeter of the hospital, shifting his attention to the pallets here, going to the statue. Kraydonna is there, that is the seer. Will he try to commit to the seer as he patrols the cipher? Only time will tell. Now Kraydonna trying to move, I believe this is 2 pallets, or just moving to just more real estate and try to buy as much time as possible. There is an owl that could be used early on, but how will Aris try to stuff it out of him? Wow, big play there from Aris, getting the owl out and getting that hit. Perfect execution there, as Arjuna mentioned, if Aris wants his team to stay alive in this competition.
Yes, sir. Oh man, those bombs are coming in left and right. And the fact that this seer is playing around walls, normally this would be your asset, but because of the limited range you can run, becomes your detriment when you're facing those bombs.
You saw that the seer was trying to work with those ruins, trying to work in those real estate for him to get away from the bonbon. And again, the bombs, the projectiles is another story, ladies and gentlemen. He really is able to corner you and really able to put the pressure on the chase. And now he is really just still patrolling the vicinity of that chair while still trying to throw some bombs. Now, who is going to make the rescue? I believe Zalcon is making a move. How will he be able to make the approach?
Oh man, look at this coming in from Aris, just constantly throwing out those bombs from a distance. This is pretty good because Aris pretty much has one side covered, not to mention by just relying on the fact that those bombs can go the distance, has a pseudo defense on site itself. So, not a bad way to go. Not a bad defense that Aris is ramping up.
Excellent use of the teleport. He knew that, at the seer was on his last leg there on the chair, and now shifting eyes on the perfumer. He did have the one supporter on the forward and was just patrolling him even though he was just waiting. Perfumer gets sniped out though. Excellent hit there. Just able to, the perfumer tried to last as long as possible with that perfume. Then again, this overwhelming offense coming out of Aris really means business here. Wow. I like the idea of the perfumer, really trying to make sure that she gets the attention away. But Aris was able to just shift last minute, throwing that bomb and just waiting for her to come back to that perfume. Now the perfumer is in the chair.
Aris is great at getting a hell lot done.
Yes.
over these past few minutes. There was never a dull moment. Not to mention the fact that IVS is a bit pressed here. Luckily, there are only 2 ciphers remaining. I'm not quite sure where the progress stands here right now, though. I think the positive here, though, is that the mechanic was still up. That does help boost up the time that they spent. But, oh my god, this is so hard. Perfumer's still strapped to the chair, not to mention a forward down. Mechanic has no choice. Has to try to go for saves here.
What a scramble! And Aris came out on the winning side of that exchange, downing the forward. The forward was playing his strategy there, trying to go for that rescue, but the overwhelming bombs was just too much. And now Zalcon just getting moved away just in case, because the perfumer, I believe, is getting out, and now the mechanic is the sole survivor that is standing. The forward still has time to recover, and then it takes a while for him to just get back up, and doesn't want to get back up just yet, ladies and gentlemen.
This is a completely different story that we're seeing here. NR Aris has all the cards in his hand. That is proving to be IVS's detriment here. And the cards that he has is the constant pressure that will be putting on this mechanic as well as the forward. Forward once again down, unfortunately. Mechanic is pressed for not just time here, but has very limited options with how he can potentially try to reverse things.
Yes, and mind you, Articuno, that once the mechanic sees a lot of violence, the decoding speed drops. So it's going to be tough for her to pop any of these ciphers while the forward is down. So still, Aris is just, like you mentioned, has all the cards on the table, and now is slowly but surely, methodically trying to chase after this sole mechanic, while the forward is slowly but surely getting knocked out here.
Oh my goodness, Aris just trying to roam about here. Dungeon is spotted out though, but even if Dungeon is up as a possibility, it's still a long way to go. Mechanic, if it really does come down to a Dungeon, it has a lot of time that needs to be bought. Forward is far from, well, being forward in expiration.
Exactly. So how, again, Aris is the one playing the patience game here, not wanting to overextend himself, not wanting to give him too much room, still trying to just patrol anywhere which the mechanic can be up. I believe Zalcon's still down, and now finds Mar. And now Mar trying to just put as much distance as possible, because I think her heart is palpitating. Now Aris noticing that, just to make sure to throw a bomb just for good measure to make his presence felt. Aris now on the last survivor that is up and running.
Oh man, this is gonna be the last stretch. Can this mechanic put it on? But you know, Aris throwing those bombs left and right. Looks like the first one already finding a landing with a chunk of mechanic already seeing the light. Oh my goodness, though. With the mechanic going down.
Yeah, they switched. Mechanic just had to touch the forward, and now it's the mechanic that's down. Mechanic can recover, but I believe, yeah, now Khan still used up all his football for him to just create some space. And now, like we've said, it's not over till it's over. And Aris now is on the chase.
Oh my goodness. This interesting transition that IVS made here. Now the big question is, can Mechanic Mars salvage himself in this scenario while forward is on the side where he might be able to buy time? I am still trying to see the angles of which IVS can make something of the scenario to at least get, I don't know, maybe just one survivor out.
Wow, okay, teleport's out of there because Zalcon was putting a clinic on why the hospital is such a great place for the survivors to stay at. Really buying enough time for the mechanic to get back up, forcing Aris to shift target and now transfer it to the side of the mechanic. Now the mechanic is being spotted out here, and what's so scary about the Bonbon, he can just fight you from like meters away by throwing those bombs, timing them really well. And forward makes the top of the cipher, one cipher remaining, Article.
Okay, this is the silver lining for IVS right now. They haven't dropped the ball just yet. Working with two survivors, it'll just ultimately come down to making sure that Mar does not succumb to the barrage of bombs that just keep on coming from this guard 26.
Just look at the resources. His mechanic does have perfume, so that is something that might be put into question here. As he moves, no drops the pallet, and now Aris breaking that pallet, really trying to snipe out this really slippery mechanic, and Aris is still remaining focused. The mechanic is down, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh man, okay, with the mechanic down, this will pretty much guarantee Aris the laser, like the condition of just, you know what, other conditions have been only for IVF. There's only just one thing that I can focus on, and that's just to laser on, and sorry, not laser on, but rather just pretty much devote all its energy towards Falcon.
Yes, because that mechanic is staying down. I think you would have used all her heals. Now Falcon just trying to buy us time. The mechanic does just get out of the game a little more faster than, let's say, a mercenary. But then Falcon still has a long time to kite, and I believe the dungeon is pretty far from where he's at. Agreed.
And oh man, it's another scenario where if you're going to try to wait out mechanics expiration, then that might be tricky. But you know what? It's no longer needed. Aris's patience has finally come to fruition for him, all for survival, because we're seeing those. Wow.
Okay.
The band. That's what I instantly noticed.
Aurora with a mechanic, going with the perfumer, and Raindrop with the priestess. IVS here, long trade here. In the ruin side, excellent use of the perfume. Okay, sniping out that first hit, but the hunt is still on, so he can't rest just yet because this Bloody Queen came to, just want to drop some survivors.
Right. And, oh man. Here we go. Chase around area. Courtesy of long depth try. I mean, not the most optimal so far, but good chase here so far. Really committing.
Yeah, I believe that the that's the mechanic doll. Because
Right.
once he gets that hit, he's going to be able to see what the mechanic is that. And also, it's one less body to worry about. So long
True.
to try sniping out that mechanic doll. And look at the health of that mechanic doll. It's not that formidable as of start. And he's able to just get one less body to worry about. Now over at the statue area, Raindrop is going to have to move away from that cypher he's working on. Long to try shifting his attention now. Laser focused here, moving her entire body with that link, going after Raindrop.
Oh man, this is really good. In which case, Long Dip Try finally committing to actual living survivor. In which case, and Priestess though, I mean, I'm really wondering to see if Priestess will live long enough to at least utilize those portals. Speaking of which, here we go. Unfortunately, the second whack will seal the deal, as Priestess will be the first survivor down and straight to the rocket chute. Question is, four ciphers still up in the air, and based on the progress that I was kind of peeking at, a lot of which has reached a respectable prime state. So I think NR definitely has their ground set.
Oh, for sure. Speaking of NR survivors, Gravekeeper's daddy here is on the burrow here, trying to make his way to rescue the priestess for the halfway mark. And now Long to try practicing some patience here, gets the hit, but no, wow, survivor. And now clean save on the side of the Gravekeeper, and Raindrop back on the run.
Oh man, that was quite the jiffy of a rescue that we saw there coming, and a great job. In which case, looks like the mirror image will be popped up as the priestess makes her way inside the hospital itself, but unfortunately, don't get Try being able to close out that gap, lands that rocket back to the rocket chair. You go, my friend.
Excellent stuff. I love the strategy on Raindrop side going to the hospital, because that's one of the safe havens of these survivors. And Long Death Try was really able to utilize the skill well, really able to just stop the priestess from gaining momentum in terms of hiding this Bloody Queen, and he gets another hit out of this perfumer. Long Death Try here, really able to just make her presence felt, even though she's guarding the shared priestess.
Righto. And here we go. It's like Long Death Try. This is really tricky, by the way, for NR. I mean, they have a good foundation with the work that they've gotten on these ciphers, but I mean, damage across the board. I guess what they would really want to work with at this point, I guess, even with the injuries that they have on 3 survivors, okay, with the priestess down as well, is they ideally would have wanted to poise themselves for a cipher pop, but with 2 ciphers remaining, I mean, I guess they're just gonna have to do without one less member being the priestess.
True, they gotta cut the hospital they have. The priestess is already in the manner. Daddy over there inside the window of hospital, shifting his attention away from going upstairs just to make sure that, you know, like the Bloody Queen doesn't get a swipe at him for a terror shock. Looking at the resources they have, Gravekeeper is at full health. Mechanic has a slight doll left, but then half health. You got a perfumer that's half health, 2 perfumes left. So it's really anyone's game, since you mentioned 2 ciphers remaining.
Right, exactly. And oh man, this is interesting. Long Death Try trying to sniff out a next potential victim here. Wilson. The rest of NR just ever so casually making sure that they get their health bars up first, just so that they can fight another day, and by fight another day, take more hits from Long Death Try once the pursuits commence once again.
True, and now they're all at full health. So this is very interesting. See how, look, that cipher is so close to popping, and they popped one inside the hospital window, 1 cipher left, and now Dylan makes a run for it while Long Death Try is hot on his tail. No time to go for that swipe, gets one right away on that second hit. Dylan, though, using the perfume to just heal back up. Excellent usage of Perfumer's toolkit.
Oh man, Dylan definitely trying to do what he can. We got to peek on the cipher progress here for NR. So I think with 3 healthy bodies for NR, there's still a lot of things can happen here, but 3 survivors out of the game, a potential possibility that remains.
Excellent. Yeah, true. There's still 3 able bodies. That was an excellent perfume by Dylan's side. Now at the shack area, Dylan having no more resources to work with. He's gonna have to get a hit if the hunter will be able to, you know, just get a swipe at him. And now Long Death Try changing to the teleport. Gets the stun. It is not close yet, ladies and gentlemen. Lower left side says it is primed, but yes, the stun did happen, and now I think Dylan has to look for another stun while Long Death Try tries to advance and change his trait to the teleport just so he can safeguard more bodies and chairs. But no, they go for the pop right away. And now Long Death Try changing his attention to Daddy here that's trying to open the gate.
Oh my goodness. But okay. He actually manages to last out a bit more, which has been up for activation by these survivors, but there's still quite a bit of a way to go. This extension is looking scary coming from Long Death Try. Teleports just to the right spot where Dylan was working to open that gate. Long Death Try tries to open that swipe and manages to land it on the second time. And oh man, big question is, are they going to let Dylan slide as the sacrifice, or will they go for a potential save here? Let's go ahead and check things out. It does seem that they are working on that other side of the gate. Oh, but it will linger here.
Props to Dylan for being able to do that, and that is the mechanic. Doll, no resources for the mechanic. And now lower left side says that the Gravekeeper has already opened the gate. Long Death Try still has the detention. Mechanic is trying to run her way to that gate while Long Death Try is, you know, at the foot race, Articuno.
Oh man.
Aurora is so close. Long Dip Try still doesn't have the cooldown on the mirror, and this could be it. 2-2. What a match.
We'll just let the pick and ban speak for itself. First half of round number 3, guys. It is NR versus IVS taking the stage. I'll let you go ahead and get your feeling of what?
And the Wu Shang. Okay, and now Long Dip Try here. Back with the Bloody Queen. I have a feeling that NR was able to be consistent with their 2-2s, so maybe they want to face the Bloody Queen once again. Raindrop with the Priestess, Aurora with the Coordinator, and Gravekeeper with my daddy, Perfumer with Dylan. So let's see how long Dylan will be able to last with this Bloody Queen, because the Bloody Queen is on the hunt here at first stop.
Yeah, and you got to take note that Dylan on this Perfumer has already shown a lot. Dylan is pretty darn good. So whether or not this will prove to be the second time, there you go. Was able to get the perfect timing on that Perfume for the Swapperoo. Looks like Long Dip Try won't be playing any games anymore. Goes for the mirror image, gets the pincer, gets the first hit on that Perfumer, and the chase ensues.
Yep, Long Dip Try. Oh, wow! Excellent use of that blink. Dylan already half life. You tried to open the instant Perfume at the start and was sandwiched by the skill of the Bloody Queen. And now, reaping the reward is Long Dip Try. The Perfumer is shared, and now just taking some real estate here, making sure that there's no pallets to really block her. Long Dip Try now still trying to find another target while she still has her sights set at the back of her head as the Perfumer is still shared. Gravekeeper is going to dig and does have a head in terms of going for the rocket chair.
Yes, sir. The rescue comes in, but at the cost of a whack on that Gravekeeper. Mirror image will be popped up once again. Lovely pincer in coming in from Dylan, tries to dodge that, but with the direction that he went, only found himself in between the mirror and actual hunter. So this is tricky. In which case, Portal will be taken down right away, and Long Dip Try just raring to out, getting back on track towards his target. Nobody in the vicinity though. So this is pretty good.
I love the idea. I love the idea on the Priestess trying to give an out for the Gravekeeper and the Perfumer. Long Dip Try though, just the defense mode was on, even though that everyone did scatter. The tide turners were giving some distance. Long Dip Try was able to clean up the real estate in favor of how he's going to camp out this Perfume.
Yes, really. Checking out the broken carousel area. Mirror image will be popped just to deal with the potential wiggling in the area, whether or not it'll actually reach landing. Not quite the case. Long Dip Try really paying the. Okay, 3 ciphers remaining, so that's something that we need to take note of.
Now Raindrop moving away from the tent and going to the other side of the map, and Long Dip Try, the Perfumer is already long gone, and now Long Dip Try just patrolling these ciphers, making sure that no survivor is trying to pop any of them. The one on the bridge was very close to popping. Long Dip Try now has the mirror image on the ready, trying to search for something, still moving around. And mind you, ladies and gentlemen, she is wearing Blink, so that is something that survivors have to worry about. Playing real estate once again, getting rid of those holy keys from the Priestess, and now sets his sight on this cipher. Aurora wisely moving away, but now Long Dip Try setting his sights locked on Aurora.
Oh man. The survivors, in all fairness, still have their work cut out for them. I mean, there was already a divine sacrifice in doing over the time he fought, but there's still a bit of work to be done as far as these ciphers. Luckily, we're more than halfway through from what is and there's definitely a cipher that's near its prime, so I think there's still a lot of cards that NR can work with here. Long Dip Try on the flip side, okay, crossover with the mirror, tries to sniff out the go for next, but takes down the portal for good measure in case, and looks like it will be Priestess here that Long Dip Try will continue to commit to.
That was a good. Actually, that shot by the Coordinator was something to highlight because After that, she just stopped chasing the coordinator. And now changing her sights to Raindrop as she chases her and transitions to the carousel. Raindrop rotating away to make sure that she is not going to be stopping any of the ciphers that are picking. There is one cipher left for the coordinator and the gravekeeper are trying to stay away while the priest tries to buy as much time as possible. Raindrop trying to juke and dive away from the tent now, going for the slide. Not quite just yet. It's a mind game from here. He's gonna get sandwiched, gonna eat that hit, goes for the slide. They're hoping that the ciphers remain with Long Dip Try does have teleport ready.
Yes, sir. Oh man, there you go. The switch comes in, goes straight over the wall. Oh man, was banking on Priestess kind of veering towards that right, but decided to go the opposite end. Long Dip Try, they're just gonna cut walls here and head straight towards spotting out. Okay. Utilizing the working carousel here. Great job. A lot of time being bought by this priestess as well. Really succeeding to let us see that was left for Dylan. By Dylan, though.
Ooh, now paying attention to what's happening on the lower left side of the screen. The Gravekeeper moved away because that was halfway of finishing. Now Daddy goes for the burrow, trying to now buy time as the rest of the survivors rotate the ciphers, trying to find one that's ready to pop. Excellent use of the teleport for Long Dip Try to shift his attention for the survivors to keep on their toes. Now Daddy creating some distance away from the survivors of the teammates. Priestess is healed up, and Daddy over God guiding. And moves a little bit outside of 2-story, so he's going to try to buy as much time as possible.
Oh man, you guys go for the swipe once again. And yes, sir, with the pallet drop though, Long Dip Try just roaming around here. Daddy's a great use of this area to buy the time. This is gonna be enduring problem for Long Dip Try unless he can get a gap closer.
Look at the lower left, coordinator is priming that cipher. Long Dip Try now trying to zone in on this great keeper. And this is such a great area for survivors to actually hide in. As mentioned with our friends at NAEU, the pallet there, a lot of stuff, real estate to work with. Daddy shifting away and moving towards the slide area outside of 2-story. Still moving, shifting to first stop, but then he's going to get hit, and the last cipher is going to be top particle.
Yes, sir, and mirror image though will be what Long Dip Try tries to go around in the advent of it. And luckily, it wasn't going to be a prolonged chase towards the top of that cipher as he instantly manages and Daddy brings him to a rocket chair, but then again, instantly makes the teleport though, so it does look like NR's troubles aren't done just yet.
Oh, that was just in time. Once he shared the teleport was ready, Aurora trying to play clean up here, going to try to save Gravekeeper, but then that's why it's so scary in the stage. She can actually shift her attention by putting a well-placed mirror. Now the Gravekeeper is saved, and they still have to open and climb that exit while the coordinator stays in that chair.
Oh man, and interesting enough, Long Dip Try will just conveniently take the portal that he found to establish more ground coverage here. Long Dip Try though, what's going to be the call? Was already veering towards the other side of the map, but smells a rat in the mid as he decides, you know what, want to turn back to potentially block off a save that NR might try to pull off, and looks like that will be the case. Instead, abort mission comes in as the call for NR as they back away.
Very risky play for a Raindrop, and my goodness, he was saving that player. Didn't want to use it right away, and now Priestess is going to see that chair. The Gravekeeper is heading out, and that is GG.
Oh.
We see a Bonbon respect ban and a Bloody Queen, and wow, we're going to see a violinist.
Oh.
Excellent stuff. All right, Aris rocking the violinist heavy lineup on the side of IVS, and we're going to see those rescuers try to keep the life of the mechanic alive. Aris here transitioning away from the tent, trying to find his first target as he rocks this violinist.
Oh my goodness, I am so excited for this. There you go. Looks like the music shall be played, and with that melody comes the first hit onto that mechanic. chase ensues, though. Zelkan was kind of thinking, okay, do I kind of juke around only because of Aris? Gap is closing a little bit more, working around these structures, though. Tries to throw out a note. Let's go ahead and see if he'll find a connect, and yes, he will, with a second whack with that. I wonder what you actually call that violin stick that you... Anyway, I'll have to Google that later. The important thing is that Zelkan is going to a rocket ship.
Yeah, we'll search that, ladies and gentlemen, but well-placed whack there. With the note just to hit look at this. Again, the map pressure is coming out. Note will definitely slow down the speed of the survivors. Zelkan, I believe he was able to drop his wall, so he is still trying to push some of those snipers. We're going to see a rest happen on the side of IVS as Mark tries to make his entrance with this, oh my gosh, well-placed air shock for Aaron.
Oh my gosh. Aris is not playing. Well, I mean, technically, he is playing, but you guys get what I mean.
Not playing around.
Not playing around in this game whatsoever. 2 survivors, Potch! 2 survivors this early in the game. Well played. We'll be bringing Mark to the chair. IVS has no choice but to respond to this.
Yeah, and now looking at the mechanics, like, it's almost about to be sent to matter. The way Wolf can respond to this is try to go after that coordinator and try their best to survive. 3 ciphers remain, and looking at how the lineup of rescuers, they don't have that much in terms of decoding, speed. And Wolfie using out there, but my goodness, the captain of violinist is really great. We're gonna see if he put it to full effect. Gets the hit, and my goodness, another well-placed terror shock.
Oh my god, terror shock indeed, Potch. But you know what? RS, he's straight to business. He knows what his priorities are. Knowing that the terror shock has already landed on the ladder, just go straight for landing the last blow. Speaking of last blow, there pops the last effort as well. Good job coming in from Aris. He is on a roll this last time.
Yeah, he is on fire. Who knew that he was plus ultra with the Bonbon, but he's just on another level with this violinist. Excellent stuff. Let's see how IVS is going to put up the pieces in terms of getting back in this matchup. Again, ladies and gentlemen, 2 survivors. They just need 2 to tie, 2 to win. Actually, here we go. Aris, okay, I think great. Still 3 survivors up and 2 ciphers really Articuno. Back to the match.
Yes, sir, Rini. And here he's a double, both coordinator and mercenary. Just one more hit down for them. Coordinator is the focus of Aris, in which case, great choice of target, because coordinator really doesn't have utility to work with anymore. Once that utility is down, coordinator, pretty much just like any other survivor, Ed, that was 3rd time the charm on the rocket ship, but not really much of a charm, but a detriment. Set back to the manor, and oh man, Aris is not slowing down, is he? Let's go straight for the next target.
And his skill was just amazing how he was able to use those strings to quick attack in terms of predicting where the mercenary would be. And now we have a shared mercenary while the Gravekeeper is still trying to find his way to end this match. And Aris is not stopping Articuno.
Aris, straight up no chill. But I mean that in such a great way. This is the ideal scenario you want to have as a hunter, where you're able to be constantly proactive and just that last takedown, ladies and gents, NR. Oh my gosh.